What's up, guys? My name is Andre. I'm the CEO of edgeful.com, and in this video, we are going to cover the brand new report page on Edgeful. So there are a few main pieces that we've added with this new design, and I'm going to cover each of them throughout this video. So starting on the left here, we have moved the navigation bar from being horizontal across the top to being vertical. From here, you can select your asset, which would change the tickers that you have available. So if you switch over to stocks, this will turn into stocks. Then you can choose your report type. So this right here, if I select volume, will change what appears in this dropdown, which is for all the reports. We gave you the option to still go through the reports, so you don't have to go back and forth from report discovery back here, but I do recommend to bookmark all the reports that you use. You can still, right here, this is the date range. This is how you check. This is how far back you want the report to look. So in this case, we're looking at the gap fill report in the last 6 months. This is how you select your session right over here. You can select the New York, we have some defaults, New York, London, Asia, daily, and then you can also create custom sessions. So if you come over here, you click on create custom session. I do have one templated from before, which I can delete. The way to add a new one is you click on this plus, and then let's just say you want to do a New York early session that starts at 8:30. You click save, and then that will appear here. Now keep in mind that it's really important that you know what session you're looking at, because it filters the data only for the price action within that session you're looking at. Then these sub-reports, these are filters on the reports. So right now we're on the gap fill report. You can see we have some sub-reports. If we look by weekday, for example, this will allow you to filter certain reports by certain weekdays. It's really important, actually, side note, to check this out, because every weekday does behave very differently across the board. Now, if I just go back to my standard here, you're going to see I can customize this report. Over here, this is where you can change certain aspects of the report you're looking at. So for example, the orb report, opening range breakout, you can change the orb size, you can change the time frames, etc. This gap fill report, you can change how much of the gap you want to be filled to consider it a gap fill. Some people like to trade half gaps. This is where you can do that. If you want to see your customizations, you just hover over this. We are actually going to make a change to this, so it will be appearing down here in smaller font, just so you don't have to hover in case you do forget what's what. Now we talked about the sidebar. Now I'm going to talk about this center area here. We have added the what's in play, or the live data, to each of the report pages. So you can see right here, we're looking at NQ and we're looking at the gap fill report. This is the current price of NQ. This is how far away price is from the current gap. And if you go to the opening range breakout report, by the way, it will have the orb what's in play. So you can see with each of these tooltips what each of these mean, but this is how far away price is from the gap. There is a gap up today. The gap size is 0.7. Your target, or the gap fill, is this price right here. The gap has not filled yet, which is right here, and your bias should be bearish, looking for that gap fill. So that's the what's in play section within the report page. Now if you scroll down, we always have the visual representation of the results right here, always a table representation with some more details. Then this table right here will break down every single day that makes up these results. So you can actually go in and dive into each day. Now, this is the explainer section. This is where you learn about the reports. Right here, we start with the video. These videos are extremely important. They're at most 5 minutes. They tell you exactly what the report is measuring, how you can use it with live chart examples. Anytime you come across a new report, I highly recommend going straight to the video to make sure that you have no assumptions, all your questions are answered. Worst case, you can also reach out to our support right here, send us a message and ask any questions you need. Now, scrolling down, we also have the explainer graphics right over here, so some different situations, and then off to the right, we have the explainer text. So this is, what does this measure? How can I use this? The last thing that I'm going to mention here is this bookmarks bar. If you're on any report, right now we're on the gap fill report, and I just click on the orb, it will automatically change it will automatically switch to the orb. This watch list is really important too, because right now I'm in NQ, which means I'm in futures, but let's say I want to switch over to Tesla, which is obviously in stocks. Click on Tesla. In one click, I've changed my asset and my ticker to be on the same report that I'm looking at. So to add to your watch list, it's very simple. You just click over here. It will take you to the watch list page, which you can also get to right here. And from here, you can add, like let's say I want to add ETH to my watch list. I can click that right here and it will add down here. If I want to remove it, I can take it out. If I want to add NVIDIA, type that out, add, and you'll see it appear in my stocks section. Really, really important to use these. It will make your experience a lot better. And then same thing with the bookmarks. I highly recommend that you use these bookmarks. You can do it from over here. You can do it on the report discovery page right over here with these buttons. If you guys have any questions, please don't be shy to reach out to our support. We will always answer you. Thank you for watching. What's up, guys? My name is Andre. I'm the CEO of edgeful.com, and in this video, I'm going to be walking you through the new What's in Play section. So the way that you can find it is right up here on the top of the navigation bar. You click on What's in Play, and it's going to bring you to this page here. So let me tell you what the purpose of this section is. This actually will tell you when each of our reports are setting up using live data. It'll give you all the relevant targets, your bias, your gap sizes, your orb sizes, your opening candle continuation, anything that you need to know about the report will be in this page, all using live data. So you never have to know, or you never have to memorize what reports are setting up, when they're setting up, when they're not setting up, when they're no longer in play, or when they are in play. So there are a few things that you need to know on this page. As of right now, we have it for stocks and futures. We're going to be adding crypto and Forex soon, but right now it's limited to these two. Then over here, this is where you can actually select your ticker. One thing to keep in mind is that we definitely recommend that you use this watch list for everything on Edgeful, but it can also change the ticker you're looking at here on the What's in Play section. So if you have, let's just say, ES and you want to look at ES, you click right here. It will automatically change to ES. You want to go back to NQ, you go back to NQ. Now, the final thing, which is actually really important when you're in the futures category, is this session. So you can look at the New York session or you can look at the London session. This is obviously going to change the start and end times of your sessions. So in this case, it's 11:30 Eastern time here. The London session is over. So in this case, I'll just show you right now, you're going to see the post market. So everything has already happened here. It's no longer going to be live. The market is closed, or the London session is closed. So always keep in mind what session you're looking at. You can change it right over here. We're also going to be adding custom sessions in the future where you can go and actually add a specific session that you want to look at, or if you want to look at an early New York session, that is coming as well. So the final thing off to the left here is going to be the reports that appear in this section here. So for example, this is a great example actually. The gap already filled on NQ today. So there's really nothing else that you need to see. The status is filled. We remove all of the information. So typically what you'd see in here is whether there's a gap up, the gap size, the bias, everything that you need to know, your target, how far away prices from the target will appear in here. But once it fills, it's no longer in play, so you can see everything goes away. We don't want you to really focus on that because that report is done for the day. So in that case, you can uncheck that, and now your gap fill is gone, and now you can focus on the other setups. For example, today was not an outside day, so this is not in play today. I can hide the outside days report. For example, power hour obviously doesn't start until 3 p.m. Eastern. So I can go over here, I can hide my power hour. Let's say that you don't like to use the opening range breakout, for example. You can go and you can hide that. So you have some customization here on what actually appears in this page. As we add more reports, you'll be able to actually toggle them on and off. We're going to be adding almost every single report that we have in this What's in Play section will allow you to have certain views for like maybe the morning or the pre-market, and then during the day, and then for power hour. So this is actually going to become a lot more robust. It's just right now we don't really need it to be, and we want to display everything so you kind of get a taste of everything that's going on. So let's focus on the actual sections here. So the opening range breakout, or the initial bounce breakout, if we focus on that right now, you can see here, we're looking at the IB, we're looking at the 60-minute IB, so the traditional 1 hour from 9:30 to 10:30. You can see that right over here. And then you can see we have a few different things here. And by the way, if you hover on any of these, all of them have a little tooltip telling you exactly what's what. So just always remember that. I'm sure your mouse will come across it at some point, so you're probably not going to forget. But you can see right here the IB size. Then you can see if price has broken out of the IB today, or broken down, or double broken. And here, what you can see here is that this is a rather large IB for today, and you can see that price did break out. And now if you go to the actual report by clicking on this button right there, you can also see the what's in play here, but this will allow you to actually go and say, hey, I want to look at the buy size right over here, and you can see the orb size, or the IB size for today is over 1%. So what I'll do here is I'll click the over 1%, and now I can see the data. So in this case, initial balance over 1%, 85% of the time in the last 6 months on NQ have only broken one side. And you can see right here, price did break out to the top side of the IB. That is a breakout. If it had broken to the bottom side, that would be a breakdown. So you can see that price did break out, which means that now you don't want to expect price to reverse back and be a double break for today, because there's a very low probability that price is going to double break. Now, if I go back to the what's in play here, you can see, for example, we also have the buy rejection. This tells you which side, based on which side of the IB forms first, whether the low or the high, which side will typically break first. So you can see here, we'll tell you, which I'll go to the report now, we'll tell you which side of the IB formed first. So today, the low formed first. Right here you can see high or low formed first. You can see this is the low. Right over here, you can, let me switch this to be the 1 hour. So it matches. And you can see, and I will switch to be all. One thing to keep in mind is that looking at your settings is actually very important. And this is a perfect example of that. Right over here, you want to make sure your settings are what you actually want to look at. So you can see here that the low formed first today. This is actually live. This is using today's price action. And for every time in the last 6 months where the low has formed first, the first break has been to the high side almost 80% of the time. So that's exactly what happened here. There was a breakout. That means that price broke out to the top side, which falls in line with the stats right here. So when the low of the IB forms first, you can expect price to break out to the top side just around 80% of the time. Now going into the what's in play, we have obviously a ton of reports. The opening candle continuation is another very strong report with very strong data. What this looks at here is if the first hour, and in this case we're using that first hour, if the first hour of the market open is green, how often does the day close green? So you can see based on the first hour that was actually formed today, that candle was green. We show you the opening price and we show you the close of that first hourly candle. And now you have a bullish bias, because if we go to the report, you can see right over here, we're using the 60-minute candle. In the last 6 months on NQ, if that first hour is green, over 80% of the time, the day is going to close green. So that gives you a very bullish bias. And one thing to keep in mind is that you can also combine some of these reports. So obviously the opening candle continuation is very bullish. The IB breaking out to the top side with a very low chance of breaking back to the bottom side is also very bullish. So this is the place where you can start to add or kind of build your confluence, find what's setting up, looking what's in play, what's no longer in play. Now we're going to be really focused on this section in the next few months. So if you have any feedback, any ideas, anything wish list items that you want us to include, right here at the bottom right, click on that and then send us a message on what you want us to include, whether it's a new report that we have, a report variant that we have, a filter, a customization, literally anything. Just reach out to us and let us know what you want us to change or update or anything at all. If you guys want to watch live trading every day, we do have a Discord. You can join it right here. It's completely for free. But if this was helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it. Have a good one. What's up, guys? My name is Andre. I'm the CEO of edgeful.com. And in this video, I'm going to be explaining the What's in Play screener. So if you don't know, the What's in Play section right over here is going to show you all of our reports setting up in real time. It'll give you the relevant targets, the relevant bias, all the sizes that you need. Pretty much all the information you need is going to be here. This page is very concentrated on one single ticker. If you want to see all of the reports on multiple tickers, this is where the screener comes in. So right over here, click on the screener, and you're going to see this populate right here. Then you can go to all, so which I'm going to touch on in a second. So on this page, you can actually combine futures and stocks together. So if you click on all, you're going to have the option in this tickers dropdown to select any tickers that we have available for the live data for the what's in play. So in this case, I have Apple, Amazon, a few of the other big tech names, and then I have ES and NQ. Now, the other 4 items here are just the 4 windows that you have for screeners to select from. So right here, you can see this is screener 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that's the page. So if you want to change your first screener, for example, to something else, you can just go over here. You can click on whatever, ADR, and you can see all the information for ADR across all of the tickers that you want. So I'm going to switch that back to the gap fill here. And really what you can do is, in terms of the table, is practically anything. You can sort this, you can filter it. So let's just say here we're looking at the gap fill report, we're looking at multiple names. You can see if I want to look at only the gaps that have not filled, because those are obviously the ones that are in play here, I can type in not filled, hit enter, and now it filters automatically for the ones who have not filled. And then, so let me just remove that. If you want to move stuff around, like if you want to have the gap status over here or whatever it is, you can drag things around. You can extend the size of the actual columns. But you can also see, which is really important to me at least, the bias and the overall stats or the overall status of a lot of the names that move together. So let's just look at the opening candle continuation. Now, this is not very typical actually, but you can see here that if you look at the opening candle continuation report, this is just the high and the low of the first hour. So you can see Apple, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Netflix, Nvidia, QQQ, SPY, Tesla, ES, and NQ. All of them have green opening candles, which is from the first hour of the session. That's from 9:30 to 10:30 Eastern time, which gives you a bullish bias for all of these to close green today. Now, you go to the initial balance. This is another one. You can see the current price, the IB size. You can see the first break, which is really interesting here. So all of these tickers, the first break was to the high and not to the low. You can see that price only broke out to the top side. A breakout is to the top, breakdown is to the bottom. And obviously, if it didn't break down, there's no double break. But every single one of these has broken out to the top side only so far. And then you can see previous day's range. This will tell you, has it broken previous day's high, previous day's low, and what is your bias based on that? You can see also here, has it touched the high? How far away is it from the high, etc. And again, you can always, like in this case, just an example, you can sort by the IB size, you can filter for whatever else you want. And this is really the place where you can come in to see a more high level view of what the information you want to look at is. So even if we wanted to go over here and let's just look at the orb, for example. Now this is a little bit different, but broke the IB, the orb low, the orb high. Now you can see some of these. I mean, today is more of a trending day, it happens to be, but you can see the different information. Now let's look at the ADR, for example. Now you can see certain names have exceeded their ADR and a lot of them have not, but you can see all the other information all in one page together. And we're going to be adding more reports in here, obviously, so you have more of a selection as we release them for the what's in play. But this section is really the what's in play for multiple tickers. So you can obviously have less or more. And this is your way to see kind of a bird's eye view of what's going on right now. If you guys ever have any questions or actually any suggestions for this section, it is still in beta, as you can see right here. But you can reach out to us down here and you can send us a message to tell us, hey, I would really love to see this feature in here. I would really love to see this. I would really want to be able to do this. And we actually take our feedback very seriously. So please don't be shy to reach out. You can do that right over here. And this is brand new. This actually released a few hours ago. So if you're watching this video and you want something, please just send it. Even if you don't know if it's possible, just send it over. We can really improve this section. And we take all of the suggestions very seriously. So I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. What's up, guys? My name is Andre. I'm the CEO of edgeful.com, and in this video, I want to review our brand new newsletter called Stay Sharp. So first things first, I want to tell you how you can actually access it. If you just go to edgeful.com and you click right here at this newsletter button, it's going to take you to this page, and all you have to do is put your email right in here. It is completely free, which is obviously really important. And what you're going to get from this is how to actually take advantage of the reports that we have, how to understand the new features that Edgeful releases, some psychology tips, some actual trade examples of how you can take advantage of the reports, and also report combinations. So we release a ton of new stuff every week, and we understand that it is very difficult to keep up. But this newsletter is going to give you the most boiled down version of exactly what you need to know every week so you can take advantage of all of the tools that Edgeful offers. We go over how to use the indicators, how to take entries, where to put your exits, how to combine different reports, how to understand volume, how to understand different market environments. So this newsletter called the Stay Sharp is going to help you understand not only how to use Edgeful, but also how to become a better trader and understand the environments that you're in. As a reminder, it's completely for free. If you go to edgeful.com and click this newsletter button, you can sign up for it right there. Here's everything you need to know about the Edgeful algos. So we just released the ability to actually connect the algos to your prop firm or your broker. I'm going to touch on that in a second, but this is a fully automated trading system that is completely data backed. So what I first want to do is I want to cover this landing page that covers all the features, like the main overview of the Edgeful algos, and then we'll go into some of the other things like the automation, some of the actual strategies themselves, and then how to actually customize them based on you and your personality. So obviously this is the video that you're watching right now. I'm going to scroll down. At the moment, we have the gap fill, the orb, and the IB algo. These are all based on the reports from Edgeful. So we're releasing the engulfing candles algo. It'll be based on the engulfing candles by RR report on Edgeful, but that will be added in here. It will probably be released next week. It's August 11th today, so roughly August 18th. This will be out. By the time you're watching this video, you'll probably have access to the engulfing candles algo as well. So one thing, you get all of in terms of like what's included in the plan, you get all of the algos that are here, plus the automation in the algos plan. The algos does require an upgrade from the traditional $49 Edgeful plan. So it is not included in the Edgeful plan. That is important for me to mention. It is $250 above the Edgeful plan, which makes it $299 a month. Trust me, it pays for itself. I'm going to show you a bunch of the details in a second, so make sure to watch this video in full. Scrolling down, fully automated execution. So connect your broker so you never miss another trade setup. This is really, really important. There's two types of people this really benefits. One of them is the people who actually do work from home that can be at their screens all day, but hesitate on their entries. They move their stop loss, they move their profit target, they start to mess around with their trading, and that results in them blowing their accounts and not being profitable over time. The other type of person that this benefits is the people who actually have to go into the office, that are in meetings, that have kids, that are going to be driving, that are at work during the times when the algos will execute. So what this does is it allows you to fully take advantage of the algos the way that it was meant to be taken advantage of. What I mean by that is it will actually enter, exit, and stop out for you. Everything is done fully A to Z, but most importantly, it's based on you and your personality, your risk tolerance, your desired win rate, your desired risk to reward. It is not based on some holy grail. All of these algos are customizable to the asset that you want to trade and to the types of losses and winners and contract size. Everything is customizable. So this is super important. This is going to, as you can see here, no noise, no guesswork, no hesitation. Everything is done for you. Scrolling down. So these are the prop firms and brokers that you can connect to. At the moment, we are only connecting to the prop firms that allow you to connect to Tradeovate. So we do not have Project X. I know this is a request, but we do not have Project X. Any prop firm that you can see that allows Tradeovate, those are the ones that you can connect to. This is really important. The list is definitely longer than the one that I have here, but I just wanted to mention that we don't have Project X yet. Once we do, you'll obviously see that on this page itself. Scrolling down, we have a private Discord group. So we have our regular free Discord group. You don't even have to be an Edgeful member to access that. But we have a private Discord group only for the people who have access to the algos. So this does not include all the regular edgeful members. What you can get here is people actually discussing and sharing their settings that they have found work really well to pass funded challenges or on different assets that actually just make money for them. Here's a little quick preview. This is on NQ in the last year. This is year to date. This is all of 2025, returning $22,000 on just a single contract. If you want to know what these settings are or what any other settings are for any other strategies, you can go to the Discord where people are discussing all their strategies there. Now, the actual performance. So the performance is obviously a huge factor of the reason to upgrade here. You don't want to have something that doesn't work. You want something that works really well. This is actually 2025. This is on just a single mini on NQ. $22,000, 220% return. I'm going to touch on this more in a second, but the performance is super important. Obviously, this is the only thing that really matters outside of these other main factors right here, which I'm going to cover. Obviously, these are meant to be successful strategies. You can customize them to however you want. You can make them lose a bunch of money. You can make them win a bunch of money. But at the end of the day, they all have great foundations to make money. Customizable strategies. This is what I was talking about. So you can see right here, you can change your max loss per trade. You can trade either certain directions, whether long or short on certain weekdays. This goes across the board. I'm going to touch on that more in a second. But the most important piece is that you are not trading a strategy that you don't understand. We give you all of the information, all of the tutorials to actually be able to understand the strategy, to customize it based on the rules of your prop firm or the rules of like just the type of trader that you are. Like for example, some people like to trade with the trend. Some people like to trade reversals. It doesn't really matter. You can customize them to suit your personality. 3 simple steps right over here. You get access to the algos, you optimize them, and then you automate them. Those are the main 3 simple steps that we have. And then you can see right here, built to pay for itself. This screenshot or this animation is actually a list of real trades that were from one of these back tests here. So now I want to go into the actual strategy right here for a second. What you can see here is that this is the orb strategy. This is the one that I recommend anyone who's trading with a prop firm start out with. I recommend that you guys start with this one. The reason that I say that is because the win rate is the highest of the gap fill, the IB, and the orb. So this one specifically on NQ, I'm looking at the 5-minute time frame right now, returned $22,000, less than 20% drawdown, 108 total trades this year, 66 or almost 67% win rate, and a 1.6 profit factor. I mean, what more can you ask for, to be honest? But really what these algos do is they give you the confidence to actually trade a strategy that you know works, right? There's over 100 trades here. There's only 250 trading days in an entire year. This is more than enough of a sample size to use to start to run this. I actually personally run these myself, and I never tell anyone what my personal settings are because most people will just copy them. I don't want to do that. What I want to show you guys though is how the settings actually work. So on all of the algos, including the orb, you can actually change what the settings are in here. So you can see there is a max loss. This is on NQ, so $1,000 for one contract. You can see that I can turn on and off whether I want to trade long or short on Mondays. I can change my profit target, my max orb size, my minimum orb size, literally everything. I can change my orb time frame. If I want to do a 5-minute orb or a 30-minute orb or a 1-hour orb, it doesn't really matter. I can change that. If I want to trade the London session, I can change that here too. I don't want to go too much into the details of this specific strategy because we have all of the education right over here. So you can see at the top over here, we have, if you don't watch all these videos, you're guaranteed to fail. The reason for that is because in these videos, we actually cover how the strategies work, how changing the different settings will impact the backtest and the strategies in general. You need to understand that. So you can see here, these are mostly like setup videos. Then we have the actual explainer videos. This one's actually the one for the orb. Again, I recommend starting with this one. Here are all the reports that you can use to actually change each of the inputs. Scrolling down, we have tutorials on Excel where you can just copy exactly what I'm doing to help you optimize things, and some mindset and psychology videos as well, right at the bottom. How to think about win rate and profit factor, how far should you backtest, position sizing, so growing without blowing your account. We literally have everything that you could possibly need, and then also to actually automate now. So let's say that you only get to this point, the automation point, once you're happy with the backtest. And again, I just want to mention that the default settings, so these are not the default settings. I'll actually show you guys the default settings here quick. So I'm going to go to my default settings. I'm going to go to year to date. I'm going to go to year to date here. And then I'm going to, this is really important, the default settings have the max loss set to 100. Obviously, you can't trade NQ with a $100 stop loss. I'm going to make this 1,000, and I'm going to leave all the other settings as is. I'm going to click OK. This is updating the report. And then now you can see that these are the default, practically the default settings, just by making the max loss reasonable. I didn't touch anything. The only thing that I touched was the max loss. You can see $16,000 of returns, less than 19% drawdown, 88 trades, 68% win rate, and a 1.6 profit factor. So if we go to the list of trades here, just to give you guys the confidence to say that this is something you really want to trade, if we go to the list of trades here and I scroll, you have every single piece of information that you could possibly need to have confidence in any strategy, not just the edgeful strategies, any strategy. So you have obviously these items here, the performance, the P&L, the drawdown, the total trades, the win rate, and the profit factor. Then you have over here, the entry and exit times, the date, the prices, the position size, the P&L, the run up, the drawdown, the cumulative profit. You literally have everything. There's not any more information that I could possibly give you to give you the confidence to put your money behind a certain strategy. Obviously, you need to optimize it based on how you like to trade. So if you prefer a lower win rate with a higher risk to reward, that's obviously fine, but it's just based on what you are happy with and your personality. One last thing that I want to show you guys is how many consecutive losers this strategy has taken with the default settings. So let's scroll down here. I'm going to make this bigger. Let's scroll down here for a second. I'm just going to point out all the consecutive losers. Right here, there's 2. Scrolling down. Here's another 2. Here's another 2. Here's 2. Here's 2. Here's another 2. And that's it. In all of 2025, this strategy has only taken 2 consecutive losers. So how do you think that that would work with your evals, with your prop firm challenges, or even with your regular brokerage accounts if you trade with NinjaTrader or Tradeovate? This is the type of strategy that most beginner traders need that they don't have access to. This is the orb strategy. I'm looking at NQ. This would apply the same on MNQ, but just divided by 10, roughly. If you guys have any questions, we are here to help you. Just reach out to our support down here. I don't know really why it's not something you would not try. If you are a struggling trader, someone who has blown eval after eval, this is the answer for you where you specifically can automate it. This is a huge feature that we just released with the automation where you don't have to rely on your emotions anymore to be able to make money trading. You let the computers do it for you, you let the data do it for you, and you can just sit back and watch. Now, here, this page has everything you need right over here. This page, the Automate Algos page, is everything that you could possibly need to actually set up the automation. We also have an FAQ here as well. If you still don't get it, we will help you on support. We are here to help you. Edgeful's mission is to make Edgeful the place where traders come to actually make money. We are tired of people losing money. This is what we are doing to help people make money. These strategies, these algos are the ones that we want to show you and give you so you can actually make money over time. So thanks for watching. I hope this is helpful.